All right, so to discuss this, let's bring in Georgia Congressman Rich McCormick. He's a member of the House Foreign Affairs Committee and the House Armed Services Committee. Good afternoon, Congressman. So this is a very different type of engagement than Iraq and Afghanistan. Of course, you served for 20 years as a veteran. How do you see the Trump doctrine along with the unprecedented coordination we're seeing with Israel changing the face of the Middle East here?
It certainly has. It all started with the Abraham Accord, where you actually had countries look at each other with a totally different light. When you get people together and realize that they're all just trying to make money, trying to make a living, and it humanizes people in different countries. I think Saudi Arabia might join the Abraham Accords when this is all over. I think they're going to join us as an ally in that area militarily. I think this is going to be a great stabilizing force for the entire world. When I was in the Persian Gulf in the mid-90s, Saudi Arabia was a completely different country. The people were much more inclined for terrorism. I mean, half the people that were on the 9/11 attacks were from Saudi Arabia. But since then, they have really turned much more Western, much more moderate. And I think a lot of the countries in that region have joined that sort of movement. And a lot of part of that is because of the Abraham Accords. It's an amazing transformation. I hope this entire conflict results in something very, very good for that region and for the entire world.
And Congressman, as you know, the White House is reportedly seeking up to $50 billion in emergency funds for this. Given the partisan and narrow war powers resolutions votes this week, do you think there's a path to a bipartisan deal on funding this war?
There's always a path. The question is how partisan they want to make this. It's amazing what they can make partisan. They can make an 80% issue like the Save America Act partisan. I don't know how. I don't know how they go against the will of the people, but they'll do anything to win. They would rather be king of the ashes than actually solve an issue. They want the issue, not the solution. That's the problem with the Democratic Party right now.
So, Congressman, one of the issues right now for people at home and the war is the pain we're starting to feel from it economically, especially at the gas pump. Oil prices surging past $90 a barrel. Gasoline about $3.41 per gallon in some states. I saw it rise 50 cents in just last week alone. United Airlines CEO Scott Kirby says higher airfare may be ahead because of higher jet fuel costs. Kuwait announced a reduction of oil and refining output due to the Strait of Hormuz. Do you think that Americans are going to be able to stomach this economic pain while we're going through the war?
Well, pay me now or pay me later. I think this is inevitable. If we didn't deal with this country, it could be a lot more painful in the future if they have nuclear arms. Quite frankly, once we've sunk their Navy and make sure that the strait is clear, we should be able to resume with Iraq and Kuwait and other countries in that Gulf area exporting their oil reserves. I think that's just going to be fairly temporary. Plus, we can up our ante. We can up our production as well. So there's ways to offset this in the long term. But if we allow this to fester, and we think that they weren't going to be a problem into the future, if we didn't think that a nuclear-armed Iran would be a threat not just to the United States, not just to Israel, but the entire region, they could be disruptive with impunity, really, once they have nuclear arms. I don't think people are looking at the big picture, but I think this will be temporarily painful, but for a long-term benefit that will benefit our children, our grandchildren, and economic stability throughout the world.
And as you know, Congressman, today is a tough day. President Trump attending the solemn, dignified transfer at Dover Air Force Base. The First Lady, cabinet members, also their grieving families are there, as well as they honor the fallen, those 6 that have already been killed over in the Middle East. As a veteran, can you tell us how important this is to have our president there and with the families in this moment?
You know, it's interesting. I went down to Mar-a-Lago and visited the president when I first won my primary. And the thing he focused on, the thing that was most actually inspiring to me, he reflected on a bunch of things. We talked everything about sports to politics to you name it. He was truly hurt by the accusations that he didn't care about the loss of military people during World War II and other wars when he was laying the wreath. That hurt him probably more than anything else. He wants people to know that he actually cares about every American life, that he's a true patriot. He loves the military. I mean, he loves the military. He's in absolute support of these guys. He wants to make every effort to make that. And look at the recruiting goals. Look at how everything's turned around in the military. That should give you every indication you need. If you went to the Army Navy game, you'd see how popular he is. This guy gets it, and so does the military. They understand how much he loves us.
You know, you're exactly right. I agree with you on that, Congressman, which makes it even more interesting to me that Democrats can't find a way to come together at a time when our troops are in danger to show unity, that they tried the division of the war powers resolutions last week. I mean, Donald Trump has broken the Democrat Party so much they're now standing with the Ayatollah.
More than just the Ayatollah, they're picking all the wrong fights. And I hope the American people are paying attention. I know there's some things that are controversial out there, but this should not be one of those. I'm telling you, these guys have killed hundreds, if not thousands of American lives. We lost some Georgians. I thought it was very poetic that the USS Georgia, the submarine that's in the Persian Gulf, is the USS Georgia, because the last few lives we lost before this war were from Georgia by a drone attack produced by Iran. I said we should have destroyed all those facilities back then when Biden was president. When they fired on our ships, we should have sank their entire Navy. I said that during the Biden administration. I have not changed pace. It doesn't matter who the president is. This is the right thing to do.
And Congressman, just quickly, as a veteran and someone who's served for several decades, what's your message right now to our military who are overseas?
Thank you, first of all, for your service. You're my brothers or my sisters. I've been to those funerals. I'm an ER doc. I've seen people die in foreign, every single deployment I've been on, I've seen people die in the military. It's always a sad thing. It's a sacrifice. We join the military knowing that this is a dangerous endeavor, but it's also necessary. If somebody doesn't step up, what happens? We are the true patriots. We're the ones who man the wall. God bless you. God bless your families. This is a righteous cause.
All right, Georgia Congressman Rich McCormick, thank you for taking the time on this Saturday.
Semper Fidelis.